Okay, so I am live, and hey, this is Trish Jones, and I'm coming to you with a quick video on how to use your Mac, your iMac, or your MacBook Pro or MacBook Air, whatever, to get on to do a video podcast. Right now, how did I come across this? My daughter does YouTube, and she decided one day that she wants to do a podcast as well, but she wants it to be a video podcast. And I'm thinking about all the ways that this can possibly be done. And so I say to her, okay, she's going to use her iPhone to do the recording, the video recording. And then I said, the iPhone's not fantastic when it comes to audio, but also she wanted the big microphone setup and the headphones. In fact, I don't know where my headphones are. They must be in her bedroom. And so she wants the big pro look, with the headphones and the microphone. So I give her the Blue Yeti because, being a young person, I don't know what it is. They love the look of the Blue Yeti. And gave her the headphones, but it was how we were going to get the audio portion, which for me is the most important element, right? People will stand bad video, but they won't stand bad audio. And so I said to her, okay, I've signed up to Adobe Professional with all of their apps, and I've had to write it down right because I keep calling it Audacity. But I said to her, try using Audition. And so she went on it and she shouted downstairs, Mummy, I'm not using this. This is too complicated. So I said, okay, I'm not sure what you're going to use. She said, oh, I'm just going to use iMovie. I said, iMovie? Anyway, I was shocked, right? She created her first podcast. She did record it again a second time, mind, because she didn't like it, but she used iMovie. And I went and tested it out, and I thought, wow, this is really good for people who really don't want to get into the tech side. And so I'm going to show you. Now, I will warn you, if my microphone, or rather my laptop, starts going crazy, the fan starts going mad, it's not like that on the normal recording, right? But it is just because I'm using a piece of software called Ecamm Live, and so it's live streaming, and it does put a strain on the MacBook Pro. Someone actually said, how do I do this unless I go out and buy, a $10,000 MacBook Pro? And I'm like, well, I have the top of the range MacBook Pro and it still does it. So if you are on any MacBook Pro and it does it, do not think that it is your MacBook Pro, right? So that's the first thing. So anyway, without further ado, let's just go, and I'm going to share my screen and show you how this is done. So I'm going to open iMovie, right? And I'm going to choose a movie, create a new project, right? And then what you have to do, actually I've got one in here already, you just need to grab any image, right, and drop it onto the timeline. And so what am I doing? What's going on here? It won't move. You know what, let's just do another one. I don't know what's going on here. It won't move. So I'm going to drop that to the timeline, right? And yeah, you just need any image whatsoever. The other thing I'm going to say, I'm using a condenser microphone to record in, and I am not even speaking into the microphone properly. I could use a dynamic microphone, and next time I think I will do, because the problem with a condenser microphone is it will pick up everything around you. In fact, I've taken the clock off my wall because when I'm recording my podcast, I can hear through the headphones the clock tick, 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 ticking. So I've got rid of it. And so, yeah, my fan's just fired off. So just remember, when you're listening to the recording after, it is not... obviously it's not got all that hissing sound behind it because my fan is kind of going crazy now. So going back to microphones, don't worry yourself with it too much. It's just that when I use a dynamic microphone with the audio interface I'm using, which is a Yamaha AG06, you kind of crank it up to maximum in order to get a decent quality volume from it, but it still sounds really nice. I still like it, but I don't know what it is. I prefer a condenser microphone, and I think it's because of my boomy voice. I just find that the dynamic microphone is just a little bit too, I don't know, intense, like my voice can be sometimes. So anyway, let's get back to this project. Just a little tip for you there on microphones, right? And you do want to speak directly into the microphone if you are doing a podcast. So forgive me because I'm not. And I don't mean the tip of the microphone right there, right? Speak into the front of the microphone, depending on what microphone you have. If you're using something like a Heil Pro, then I think you do speak into the front of the microphone there. But just make sure that whatever microphone you have, you are speaking into the proper part of it, the proper piece of the microphone. And for me, it would be straight on here, but I'm not going to bend my neck whilst I'm recording this. So the first thing you want to do when you've dropped your image onto the timeline is click this little microphone button icon, I should say there. And then you're going to hit this voiceover options and you're going to choose your input source. So you could use your MacBook Pro microphone. Don't necessarily recommend it. I'm recording my video using the Logitech webcam. I was going to use my phone with another piece of software, but that would probably make my fan blow up, right? So I thought, you know what, just stick to the to the Logitech. I don't recommend using the microphone from there because it's just too far away. You know, something like this is better. If you're going to use your iPhone, which you can do, right? Just use a cheap microphone from Amazon, right? I got one that cost $17. In fact, let me show you. So sorry for those people who kind of want me to get directly to the point, but these things are important. I have this microphone. Didn't think of showing you this. Oops, I think I've just lost the head. Nope. I have this microphone here that I bought from, it's battery operated. £17 I paid for that, and you can get them cheaper. Mine is called a Movo, but they change the name all the time. It just depends on who the seller is. But I'm just saying, if you're going to use your smartphone to record, then I would recommend an external microphone. So getting back to it, I'm going to choose the AG06, which is my audio interface, and I'm going to click done. And then when I've done that, oops, no, I'm not going to click done because I haven't done. I've just done the setup. Let me double check that again. And then I'm going to record. So, hey, this is Trish Jones, and I want to welcome you to the Ditch Your Limits podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about nonsense because that's what I like to do, right? Just chat nonsense. I don't really, but anyway, right, there you have it, right? So when you've done, you hit the red button again, and there you go, you have your audio. Now what you want to avoid is this, what we call clipping, when it goes into the red. So it means that either I have my microphone set too high or I need to shut up a bit because I was too loud. So let's just play this back anyway and see what it sounds like. So I'm going to hit done here and then start playing. Hey, this is Trish Jones, and I want to welcome you to the Ditch Your Limits podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about nonsense because that's what I like to do, right? Just chat nonsense. I don't really, but anyway, right, there you have it, right? So when you've done, so there you go. That's enough of that, right? Now, bearing in mind that I'm using an audio interface, reasonable microphone. It's not the most expensive. I've had it a good number of years now, but it does the job. You can see for somebody who's a pro, they might say, that sounds a bit thin. And for me, it wouldn't be good enough. But let me tell you, sometimes I think we can mess about with the best software, and then we don't do anything. The best, not software. Gosh, am I slurring my speech? It must be 9 o'clock at night. I'm tired. The best equipment. We want the best equipment, but sometimes you've just got to settle with what you have, and the majority of people won't even notice. And if you think about it, you know, the old radio interviews, right? They always sounded a little bit echoey, but we think that we've got to have this room with all of the soundboarding and everything in there. And what I'm saying is, sometimes you just got to let it be good enough. So I would say that I'm not necessarily overly happy. Hey, this is Trish Jones, and I want to welcome you to the Ditch Your Limits podcast. I think the LED sounded better, but maybe again, I'm being critical of my voice, right? But before I just finish this video, let me tell you why do a video podcast? And I'm grateful to my daughter, right? Because she really does push the envelope sometimes. And I'd been umming and ahhing as to what to do. One of my podcasts, I do a video podcast, but it takes time stripping out the audio, etc., etc. And if I'm saying terms that you don't understand, when you get into podcasting, you'll understand more. I was just trying to make this a quick tip, you know. But why do video podcasts? Because you can, what I say, strip out the audio. So in other words, take out the audio, the video portion of it, because what you're going to do right after you've recorded, you're going to drop your video here to replace this image. Gosh, I almost forgot to tell you that. I'm really sorry. So you would get rid of this, you would drop your video recording in here, and then you would bring it to the timeline, right, and sync it up with the audio down here. And then what you want to do is the audio portion you want to send up to iTunes and Spotify if you're going to use Spotify. And where's the other one? SoundCloud. What's the other one? Come on, Trish. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher Radio. Anyway, all of those places you want to put your audio on, so as many places as you can. And then the video, you want to put it on YouTube. Now, why put your video on YouTube? You put your video on YouTube because if you do this properly and you optimize your video for search, you get the best of both worlds. Because if you put your video on, I'm going to get there in a minute. I'm telling you, I know I'm tired. If you put your video on YouTube, you can get views on YouTube and you can get listens on iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify. There are going to be some people who prefer to listen and some people who prefer to watch. And so if you already have a YouTube channel in particular, it is a fantastic way of getting people to engage. And just like me now, I'm just more relaxed, right, having a conversation. Yes, I'm a bit tired, and so every now and again I've been slurring my speech, but I have been meaning to do this all day today, right? Do a video. And I happened to say to somebody on Facebook, hey, when are you doing your radio show? We're all waiting for you. And they said, oh, can you help? And I felt really embarrassed because I was like, yeah, I told them, yes, I can help. But sometimes I shy away from doing live videos, right? So I'm kind of recording this live and I'm kind of not, but I'm not going to go into that right now. That's for another video for another day. So that should hopefully help you get started with your podcast. The next one I'm going to do, I am going to talk about using your smartphone, but not today because I think this video has gone on long enough. So there you have it. Let me just switch back over to Ecamm Live so you can see me properly, not that you really need to. So let's just go back to the camera. So yeah, and that's the other thing, you know, you've got to get used to looking at the camera and all of this kind of stuff I know. But anyway, yeah, it's so easy sometimes. And that's because I'm not using the camera on my laptop, MacBook Pro. Oh my gosh, I think I need to go and have a drink and go to bed. But anyway, that is an easy way for you to start doing podcasting. Don't let equipment be an issue. I suppose that's what I want to say in all of this. For the most part, people have the equipment in their home, but they think they need an expensive camera. And hey, let me just say this. My daughter has a Canon, I can't remember which one it is, right? But we paid plenty of money for it. But she just decided that because she can't focus it herself, she got to keep calling me all the time. And it does a maximum of 12 minutes, and we don't know why that is. It should do half an hour. She just found that it's just easier using her phone, right? So what I'm saying is, despite the fact that she has got the mega expensive camera, not mega expensive, cost hundreds of pounds though, she's still just using her iPhone to do the recording. So don't let the tech be a stumbling block to you getting your message out there. Okay, that's it guys. I will see you in the next video. Okay, ciao ciao now.